New book, Surf When You Can, Lessons in Life, Loyalty, and Leadership from a Maverick Navy Captain. Captain Crozier joins us for his first TV interview. It's good to have you, Cap. Thank you so much for your service and for joining us.
Thanks, Chris. Happy to be here today.
3 quick questions. 1, why now?
So, like you said, I did serve 2 years after that moment until I retired last summer. And I had time to look back and think about my 30-year career in the Navy. I was blessed to fly helicopters, fly fighters, drive ships, and serve with some of the bravest and most dedicated men and women in our entire country. And looking back, I had the opportunity to honor them, to tell the stories that I learned from them about life and leadership, and I wanted to share that. I also wanted to make sure people knew that I wasn't bitter. I mean, I think at the time I did what I needed to do. As a CEO of a ship, you're ultimately accountable for the success or failure of your ship. And I wasn't going to leave anything on the table when it came down to COVID and protecting my sailors. So that's kind of what the emphasis behind the email. And certainly there wasn't the right time to talk about it after the fact. But I knew, again, the Navy wanted what was right for the sailors as well. I just knew no one wanted it as much as I did. So that was the moment. And then I knew then the Navy made the decision. I didn't go back to that ship, even though it was the best job in the world. You could fly a helicopter one day, fly a fighter, drive the ship in the South China Sea with the Chinese Navy chasing you. But at the end of the day, it was a job. And the Navy had to move on and do their mission. So I focused on the job I had in the Navy. The Navy took great care of us. We're a Navy family. It's a family business for us. I have a son who's a veteran, another son active duty. So I was going to do all I could to make sure I honor the Navy till I retired. And even now, I want to make sure I share all the positive lessons learned.
So would you have done anything different in hindsight? And how do you explain what the principle was in the book as a leadership point?
Yeah, so there's a couple of points in the book, but I don't think looking back I would have done anything differently. I knew it wasn't a perfect scenario. Nothing is black and white. There's a lot of gray in the fog of war, the fog of that kind of thing with COVID. Think back to March of 2020. We didn't have tests. We didn't have masks. We didn't have anything about a vaccine at the time. So I just want to make sure I did all I could. I think leadership is about one thing. It's about taking care of your people, trying to empower them, trying to make sure you remove barriers and you make sure you get the most out of them. So if you're going to do that and you're going to live that as a leader, then when the time comes, you have to stand up for that. So I think, again, leaders take care of people, and ultimately that's what I was trying to do.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.